Imagine standing in a crowded room. Laughter echoes around you, conversations buzz like radio static, and people connect effortlessly. Yet, despite the noise, you feel a crushing loneliness. Not because you're invisible, but because you're too visible. Too understood on the surface, yet completely misunderstood where it matters. This is the silent echo haunting the INFJ soul, a paradox where deep connection and profound isolation exist side by side. Today, we unravel the mystery of the INFJ, the rarest personality type, making up just 1% of the world. They're the quiet healers, the unseen visionaries, and the empaths who carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. But why do those who care the most often feel the most alone? Let's journey into the heart of this paradox. By the end, you might just see yourself, or someone you love, in the silence. 1. The INFJ blueprint. Who are these mysterious idealists? INFJs are like rare gems hidden in plain sight. They're introverts who crave meaningful connections, dreamers with their feet on the ground, and perfectionists who forgive others' flaws but rarely their own. Known as the advocate in the Myers-Briggs world, INFJs are the friends who remember your favorite childhood story, the coworkers who sense your bad mood before you do, and the strangers who offer advice that changes your life. But their greatest strength, their empathy, is also their deepest wound. They're wired to see the world in vivid detail, noticing pain others ignore and dreams others dismiss. This makes them incredible listeners, but it also leaves them feeling like outsiders. INFJs often ask themselves, why do I feel so different? The answer lies in their unique blend of intuition, idealism, and sensitivity, a recipe for both brilliance and isolation. 2. The empathy trap. When feeling too much becomes a burden. Imagine walking into a room and instantly sensing the emotions around you. The boss's hidden stress, a friend's secret heartbreak, the awkward laughter masking someone's insecurity. For INFJs, this isn't imagination, it's daily life. Their empathy works like a radar, picking up emotional signals others miss. But absorbing everyone's feelings is exhausting. It's like being a sponge in a thunderstorm, soaking up chaos until they're too heavy to function. Over time, INFJs build walls, not to shut people out, but to protect themselves from drowning in a world that feels too loud, too raw. They might cancel plans or retreat into solitude not because they dislike people, but because caring hurts. The cruel irony? Their ability to heal others often leaves their own hearts unhealed. 3. The ideal versus the real. Why INFJs struggle with human messiness? INFJs are secret romantics. They believe in soulmates, world-changing ideas, and conversations that feel like magic. But reality? It's messy. People break promises, loved ones lie, and friends settle for small talk instead of diving into life's big questions. For INFJs, this gap between their grand visions and the imperfections of real life feels like a personal failure. They'll lie awake at night wondering, is it me? Am I too demanding? Or not good enough? They hold themselves to impossible standards, believing they should fix the world, or at least make it kinder. But when reality falls short, loneliness creeps in. They start to feel like aliens on a planet that doesn't speak their language. For the intuition abyss, trusting gut feelings in a logic-obsessed world, INFJs don't just think, they know. Their intuition is a superpower, whispering truths that logic can't explain. They'll meet someone and instantly sense dishonesty, or walk into a situation and feel a vibe others ignore. But in a world obsessed with data and proof, this gift becomes a curse. Imagine insisting a storm is coming while everyone else enjoys the sunshine. INFJs often stay silent, fearing they'll sound irrational, even as their gut screams, danger ahead. Over time, this self-doubt eats away at their confidence. They start to wonder, is my intuition a gift, or just my imagination? The answer? Both. Their instincts are usually right, but trusting them means risking ridicule, a price many INFJs pay alone. 5. The social battery dilemma. Why crowds drain but loneliness hurts. The INFJ social life is a roller coaster. They'll cancel dinner plans to read a book, then spend the night scrolling through photos of friends having fun without them. Crowds drain their energy like a phone battery on 1%, but solitude, though peaceful, can turn into loneliness fast. Unlike typical introverts, INFJs don't just need alone time. They crave deep connection. It's like wanting to swim in the ocean but fearing the waves. They might attend a party, engage in sparkling conversations, and leave feeling emptier than before. Why? Because surface-level interactions leave them hungry for something real. They're stuck in a loop, too sensitive for shallow talk, too rare to find their tribe easily. 6. The secret creative pulse. How INFJs turn pain into art. When loneliness hits, INFJs don't just cry, they create. Journals overflow with poetry, guitars strum melodies of unspoken grief, and canvases become mirrors for their souls. Their art isn't a hobby, it's a lifeline. Think of famous INFJs like J.K. Rowling, who turned her struggles into Hogwarts, or Martin Luther King Jr., who painted dreams of equality with words. For INFJs, creativity is alchemy, transforming pain into beauty, silence into song. They might never share their work publicly, but in private, it's how they survive. Every brushstroke, every sentence is a whisper, I'm here. I matter. 7. The vulnerability paradox. I want to be known. But what if you leave? INFJs are vaults of secrets, yours and theirs. They'll listen to your trauma for hours but freeze when you ask, how are you really? It's not that they're hiding, they're terrified. Opening up feels like handing someone a grenade and praying they won't pull the pin. They've been called too intense or too deep too many times. So they test people, dropping hints to see who cares enough to dig deeper. They'll share a small piece of their soul and wait. If you notice, they'll give you more. If you don't, the walls go up forever. It's a lonely way to live, but for INFJs, vulnerability is a risk that could save or shatter them. 8. The spiritual anchor. How INFJs seek meaning in the silence. Loneliness, for INFJs, isn't just about missing people. It's about missing purpose. They're the ones staring at stars asking, why are we here? Or reading philosophy books at 3 a.m. Spirituality isn't a trend for them, it's oxygen. Whether through religion, nature, or art, they seek answers to questions most people avoid. But this quest often isolates them further. How do you explain a cosmic crisis at a family barbecue? INFJs learn to hide their depth, nodding along to casual chats while screaming inside, doesn't anyone else wonder about the universe? Over time, they find solace in silence, where their big questions feel less like burdens and more like companions. 9. The savior complex trap. Rescuing others while drowning inside. INFJs are natural rescuers. They'll stay up all night comforting a friend, donate their last dollar to a stranger, or adopt every stray animal they find. But this heroism has a dark side. They forget to save themselves. It's like being a lifeguard who drowns trying to save others. They'll pour energy into fixing broken relationships, careers, or global issues, until they're running on empty. Burnout hits hard and suddenly the healer needs healing. But asking for help? That's their kryptonite. They'd rather suffer in silence than burden others. The result? A cycle of giving, crashing, and wondering why no one notices they're falling apart. 10. The mirror effect. Why INFJs love deeply but rarely feel loved back. INFJs love with their whole heart. Thoughtful surprises, soul-stirring conversations, remembering the little things that make you you. But here's the kicker. They rarely feel loved in return. Not because people don't care, but because most express love in simpler ways. A text, a meme, a casual hangout. INFJs crave depth. Letters filled with raw honesty, 2 a.m. talks about life's mysteries, silent walks where words aren't needed. When love feels shallow, they withdraw, thinking, if I'm not worth the effort, why try? They don't realize their standards aren't too high, they're just rare. Finding someone who matches their intensity takes time, and until then, loneliness lingers. 11. The evolution. How mature INFJs turn loneliness into power. Growing up as an INFJ isn't about fixing flaws, it's about embracing the paradox. They learn to set boundaries, saying no without guilt. They speak their truth even if their voice shakes. They stop chasing perfection and start celebrating small wins. Most importantly, they find their tribe, people who see their depth and don't flinch. These relationships are few but life-changing. Slowly, the loneliness transforms. It's no longer a void but a quiet space where creativity and purpose grow. Mature INFJs realize their sensitivity isn't weakness, it's a superpower. They become the calm in the storm, the light in the dark, proof that even the deepest souls can find peace. Conclusion. The INFJ's loneliness isn't a curse, it's the shadow of their brilliance. They feel the world's pain because they're brave enough to care. They see the cracks in the universe because they believe in healing them. And yes, they often walk alone, but that's where their strength is forged. In the silence, they find art, empathy, and a hope that refuses to die. To every INFJ watching, your echo isn't a sign of brokenness. It's proof you're alive, feeling, and fiercely human. And to those who love an INFJ, look closer. Behind their quiet, there's a universe of love waiting to be seen. After all, the loudest truths are often found in the silence.